We're live, folks. Welcome. We're just going to get started in a couple minutes. I just want to allow folks to come in. It's going to be an epic stream. We're going to be talking all about Git in VS Code. It's super exciting, and people are really excited about this. Let's see who's watching. Let me see. We got Payon. Welcome, Payon. Super excited you're here. Let's see. Apparently I'm having myself play back. Alright, Jeff should be on his way as well. Let's see, who else is watching? Smash them. Alright. Wow, folks. We've got Jeff, we've got Thirza Boeta, we've got Payon. This is a great crowd tonight, y'all. Anyone else here? We're going to get started in just under 2 minutes. Anyone else here? Anyone else able to watch? Anyone else watching me? I'm having issues with Safari. Man, I love Safari, but it's kind of a pain. Smash the like button, Jeff. Awesome. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to Techopolis. This is our awesome channel. I do a lot of streams here. We've got Payon and Jeff. And so let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we? All right. We are going to be having some fun today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be configuring our Git to work with VS Code. So this is a user-submitted stream idea. Thanks to Jeff Bishop and Payon in the chat for suggesting this idea. And basically what we're going to be doing today is showing you guys how you can use Git with VS Code. But I think we should take it back a level. What is Git? That's a great question. Git is a source control system. And basically source control is very important in software development. What it comes down to is it comes down to the fact where you can have different developers working on different features. It works very well. And I really love it because it helps me to make sure that I can create different things with developers, but then they won't be able to conflict with each other, at least not as easily. I did get a question from Kevin, not able to see you. Kevin, in this stream, we're going to be doing screen sharing. So actually, my video is not going to be live. But that's fine. We're gonna be doing a screen share in just a second. So Kevin, yep, that's a great question. So as a result, we usually tend to work in our editor, VS Code. And VS Code is really, really great because it allows us to write our code, also debug it, and use other extensions. But what we want to do also is we want to create different repos using GitHub or other Git providers because repos are repositories. And that's basically how you can create your source code so that it will go up to GitHub. You do push, pull, commit. And basically, so what you do is you add your files first, and then you commit them, and you commit a message, and then you push them up. So in today's stream, I'm going to show you how to get set up on Windows using Git. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get started. So, I'm going to be doing on this Windows stream today. And for this one, I have decided I am going to share my speech so that you guys can hear exactly what I'm doing. So, you will hear the NVDA, which is my screen reader because I am blind. So, if you guys have never heard a screen reader before, that is going to be pretty cool. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be sharing my sound. All right. So let's see. Let me share sound.
Started screen share. Content is empty.
All right.
Content is empty.
Can you guys hear my sound? So FYI, you guys can hear my sound. And the thing is that all the chats will be coming through live as well. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you guys are respectful. And make sure that you guys are able to say things that you wouldn't have regretted having been loud, read out to the whole entire group. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm going to go open my favorite web browser, which is going to be Google Chrome, or you could do Microsoft Edge, or either or. And I'm going to be on Windows, but the process is similar from Mac as well, and I can kind of show that in a
Microsoft
little
Remote
bit.
Desktop. Cloud PC Business UVCP space with
I got Windows 365 here.
D folder view list. NVDA 5 of 11. G. Google Chrome 4 of 11.
Open Google Chrome. And I'm going to type in git
Tool bar. Address and search bar at G. T space. Selection removed.
download.
Roberto
D.
here,
O.
rest of
L. A. D.
us.
Document busy blank. Get download
Pretty
Google search.
cool.
Heading level.
Pretty cool.
Thanks
awesome.
for sharing your process.
Thanks for sharing my
I'm
process. I
just getting
appreciate
up
it.
to speed with VS Code, so this will help me.
You're just getting up to speed
Jeff
with VS
Bishop.
Code. Awesome.
Yes, we hear you.
Cool. Alright, so
Search mode main landmark clickables. Clickable downloads. Get heading level 3 link.
downloads Git. I'm going to go ahead and
Document busy blank.
download
Get
Git.
Banner landmark link graphic. Get app downloads. Heading level 1.
And I went to Git. I typed in Git download in Google.
Link Mac OS. Link Windows.
Windows.
Get downloading package. Banner landmark link graphic. Get fast version
Alright,
control.
and I'm going to go
Search
ahead
by
and
size,
put this
edit,
in the
toolbar,
chat.
Task switch restream chat row 1 column 1. G. Space. D. O. L. A. Space.
There is the download link. So if you guys need to download Git, there's where you go do it. So downloading Git will allow us to use it in VS Code, because in order to actually use Git, we have to be able to have it in VS Code. And in order to do that, we have to have Git installed. So the first step is installing Git, and that's what we're going to be doing. And then we'll go ahead and configure it with VS Code. Okay, so I just went ahead and put the Git download link in my chat.
Task get downloading package Google Chrome.
And it's downloading my package.
Search entire site. Edit plan. H.
Oops, I'm in.
Download
No,
for Windows
we're
heading level
landing.
1. Link click here to download the latest. 2.35.1. 64. Downloading 47.9 MB.
There
Get
we go.
2.35.1.264 bit.x alert.
Git is downloading, and it's being very...
Download complete. Get
Slow. There we go.
2.35.1.264 bit.x. Press shift plus F6 to cycle to the
I'm going to go to
folder.
downloads folder and get my Git. Get my Git.
L. A. D.
Get it?
File Explorer.
Let's see.
Downloads.
Alright,
Items view list. Today grouping expanded. Get 2.35.1.
I'm going to download Git, open it up. And again, you guys are hearing how I'm using my computer as a screen reader user, so hopefully you guys like it.
Grouping expanded. Last month. Today group window dialog.
Okay, I'm going
Downloads.
to click
Items
on
view list.
Git.
Today grouping get 2.35 secure desktop.
I got a control dialog, so
User
Alt-Y,
account control dial.
maybe.
No button Alt. N.
I seem to have lost focus. Alt-Y, please, hold on.
Show hide details. Yes button Alt. No button Alt.
There we
yes.
go. Just
Get
took a minute.
2.35.1.2 setup. Get 2.3.
And
get
watch
2.35.1.2
closely as I
setup.
install
Information.
this.
Please read the
Make sure
following
we do
important
this
information
right.
before
So,
continuing. Next button, Alt plus
this is
N.
a EULA. I'm just going to hit Alt-N. User
To continue,
count.
click next. If you would like to select a different
Here.
folder, click browse. Edit selected C. Program file.
Next.
Select the components you want to install. Clear the components you do not.
Select the component I want to install. So I want to make sure that I select the components that I want to install. So let's see what we have here.
The bill icons checkbox not checked. On the desktop checkbox not checked.
On the desktop,
Windows Explorer integration checkbox checked. Get bash your checkbox checked.
Git Bash. I don't really like that, so I'm going to uncheck it.
Space not checked. Get B your checkbox checked.
Git GUI. I might. Let's see.
Get LFS large file support
I'm going to
checkbox
keep
checked.
that. I'm going to keep the large file support.
Associate.git star configuration files with the default text editor checkbox checked.
I'll do that.
Associate.sh files to be run with bash checkbox checked.
Sure.
Check daily for Git for Windows updates checkbox not checked. New. Add a Git bash profile to Windows terminal checkbox not checked.
Okay, so all these things I just
Back
want to
button
leave the
Alt plus
same.
E. Next button Alt plus N. To
Alt-N.
continue, click next. If you would like to select a different folder,
Alt-N.
click browse. Edit selected Git. Combo box use Vim. The ubiquitous text editor. As
No,
default editor
I want to use VS Code.
Use Notepad++ as Git's default. Use Visual Studio Code as Git's default editor.
I don't want to use Vim. I don't like Vim. I know y'all are going to hate me, but I do not like Vim, so I went ahead and selected use VS Code or Visual Studio Code as Git's default editor.
Back Alt plus B. Next button Alt plus N.
Next.
Let Git decide radio button checked.
And what is this one?
Cancel button.
Let's see.
Let Git edit selected main.
Main. So this is a main branch. So basically, here's a little Git trivia for y'all. Last year, I think it was decided during the George Floyd protests and all of the craziness that we had, the people that ran Git had decided that instead of calling their main branch master, because that was a master-slave reference, they actually decided to rename it to main instead. So the main branch in a Git repo is now called main instead of master because of the whole Black Lives Matter stuff. So I don't know if y'all knew that, but that's just something to note, is that it's now called main. So if you see something called master, that's the old main branch, because in Git you have something called branches. Branches, simply put, are the way that you are able to separate your code. So for example, what you want to do is you want to put branches for each feature. I'm working on an app right now at work where each feature, for example, like a tab bar, or, let's say I'm doing Python, maybe I have a graphical user interface. So maybe I have like the main window as a feature branch, and then maybe I have the about window as a feature branch. They're each branches, so they're contained within themselves, but you can also merge branches into the main branch after you do what's called a pull request, where basically you can kind of do code review. And if this all sounds a little bit crazy, I have some more resources on Git that I can share with you guys. But in general terms, Git is very good because it allows multiple developers to work together seamlessly. Now, it can be a pain at first, but that's why VS Code is here to save the day. So, that is a little bit of Git trivia for y'all.
Back Node plus B. Next button Node plus N. Get from the command line and also from third-party software radio button checked.
Yes, I want to make sure I Git from the command line.
Back button Node plus B. Next button Node plus N. Use bundled OpenSSH radio button checked.
Sure.
Use external OpenSSH radio. Use bundled OpenSSH. Back button Node plus B. Next button Node plus N. Use the OpenSSL library radio button checked.
That's fine.
Back button Node. Next button Node plus N. Check out Windows style. Commit Unix style line endings radio button checked.
That's fine. I'm going to leave all these the same.
Use MinTTY, the default terminal of MSYS2 radio button checked. Use Windows default console window radio button checked. Use MinTTY, the default terminal of MSYS2 radio. Back button. Next button Node plus N. Default fast forward or merge radio button checked. Back button. Next button Node plus N.
The same.
Git credential manager radio button checked. Back button. Next cancel button.
Next.
Next button Node plus enable file system caching checkbox checked. Enables back button Node plus B. Next button Node plus N.
Same.
Enable experimental support for pseudo consoles checkbox not checked.
I'm gonna leave all this
Enable back
unchecked.
button Node plus B. Install button Node plus I.
Alt I to install.
Next cancel button.
And now you hear a little NVDA progress beep. So those who may not know with NVDA, because I'm running a screen reader, it makes these beeps that go in ascending tone, so that as the installer gets higher up, the beeps go higher. If you guys didn't know that, that's kind of how that works. The beeps go higher as the installation progresses. Because I do see we have some people who may be new to screen readers here. So that's kind of how this works. Alright. So, let's see what we can do. We're going to now go ahead and open our VS Code. Now, I already set up my VS Code. I have some videos about that, which I can go link in a little bit. But what I'm going to actually do is we're going to open up our VS Code.
2.35.1.2 setup dialog. Installing please wait while setup installed on your computer. Running post and view release notes checkbox checked. Finish button Node plus F.
Finish. Alt F.
2.35.1.2 untitled Word Microsoft Edge window. Document
And it opened up a new tab, Microsoft Edge. I'm just going to close this.
Get downloading package Google Chrome. Get
Close
downloading package
this as
document.
well. Close this window. Alright.
Task switching. Restream chat.
Anyone have any questions in chat? So far, we have downloaded Git for VS Code. That is what we have done. We've downloaded Git from VS Code. Anybody have questions about this so far? Anyone curious? Anyone have thoughts? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and check to make sure that my Git's installed. I'm going to simply go to Windows R and run. And I'm going to go ahead and type in CMD to check to see if my Git's installed. So let's see.
Payo.
CMD. Text folder UC. Windows
No
system
questions at this time. Slightly smiling face.
Awesome. Git.
GIT. RM remove files from the working tree and from the index. Examine the history and state. See users Taylor Art Grader.
Alright, we officially have our Git installed. So we've got Git installed. Now it's time to open up our favorite little text editor called VS Code. And we're going to go ahead and install an extension. So let me go talk about VS Code's Git integration. VS Code's got great Git integration. You can create repositories. Repo is a short form. You can update repositories. You can merge branches. You can create branches. But the thing is that there's this little extension I found about 15-20 minutes ago called VS Code GitHub Manager. VS Code GitHub Repository Manager. Simply put, this allows me to have more control over my GitHub. And what it will allow me to do is actually create repositories for an organization through VS Code. Because this is very important because I have all these repositories that I create for you guys in my Techopolis organization on GitHub. And so I'm really super excited about this. So we're going to go ahead and install that extension in just a second here. So that way you guys can use this extension. Now I got to find the exact name of it. So just give me a second here while I find the exact name of it. And I'll show you guys how this works. So let me go ahead and exit the terminal.
XIT. Zit is not recognized as an internal CUE. XIT.
Alright, I'm going to open up VS
Folder
Code.
list. Google Chrome 4 of 11. V. Visual Studio Code 6 of 11.
Okay.
Visual Studio Code. Document busy blank.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control-Shift-X.
K5 Demo Visual Studio Code document. Application. Search
Git.
extensions and marketplace editor at G. T. 4 extensions found in the installed section H. H. 915 R. E. P. O. S. T. Y. 915 extensions found in the marketplace section. Space M. A. A. G. E. R.
Git
1369
repository
extensions
manager,
found
I
in the
think.
marketplace section. 1077 extensions
Tab.
found in the marketplace section. Extensions list. Level 1 Project Manager 12.5 Git History 0.6 Point Project Manager for Java 0. Git Lens Git Supercharged Git Project Manager 1.8.
All these different Git
allow you to change
extensions.
easily between Git Project Git Graph 1.30.0 Git Lame 8.1 Python Environment NuGet Package Manager 1. Azure Resource Manager Git Extension Pack Git History Diff 2. GitHub Pull Requests and Issues 0 GitHub Theme
Let's
6.0.0 Git Merger 0. Start Git Bash 1. Gitignore 0.7 Color Manager 0 Git Easy 1.11 Git Recompare 1. GitHub 0.30
find
GitHub
my-
Repository Manager 1.3.2
There we go.
and read Bruno easily and quickly clone and access your GitHub repositories and create new ones 22 of 1077 level 1 Main Landmark Group 1 Empty Section
Oops.
Extensions List GitHub Repository Manager
I'm gonna press
1.3.2
enter.
Main landmark, tab control, application,
And-
extension, GitHub repository, version graphic link HTTPS,
I guess
install
or
graphic link
press tab.
HTTPS, slash, changelog link
But-
HTTPS, slash, table
I
graphic link
did it the long
HTTPS,
way.
slash,
Here.
untitled Word, Microsoft Edge window, document, donate. Close
Okay, let
extension,
me get
GitHub
out of this.
repository manager, pick 5 demo visual studio, search extensions and marketplace editor, main tab
Okay.
actions toolbar, close, CTR editor actions toolbar, split editor, heading clickable level 2 GitHub repository manager, V1 button, 16,817, button and read Bruno. Toolbar install but manage button, clickable. Button install. Install
And
the
again, I
GitHub
like this
repository manager
extension a
project.
lot
Editor
better
now
than
open with
the
more
traditional GitHub extensions in the built-in because I'm able to create organizational GitHub repos, meaning for my different organizations, I'm able to separate things a lot better. But you can do it without this extension. This is called GitHub Repository Manager, and it's a really great extension. So I went ahead and typed that into my VS Code extensions, Control-Shift-X on Windows, Command-Shift-X on Mac, and that's how I'm able to get this.
Extension, GitHub repository manager, pick 5 demo visual studio code document, application,
Okay.
version graphic link HTTPS, slash, status bar, main landmark,
It's
document,
installed.
extension, GitHub,
So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and configure our extension. Now we need to log into GitHub, so that's what we're going to do. But I think it'd be a good idea to create an application. When you create something that we can put on our GitHub. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to create something, and I'll show you guys the process. So let me go ahead and get out of this.
context menu, close C, maximize unavailable X, close C, document blank,
I'm going to go to my terminal,
run
CMD.
CMD, text folder C, with C, D space C, O, C, C, O, C, D space D, C, C, D space D, O, C, U, F, F,
Documents.
D, S, C, user Taylor Art documents greater,
And what we're going to do is we're going to create a file. I'm just going to call this is actually the name of our repo. I'm going to call this Git VS Code Demo. So MK
A, D, I, R space,
Git
G, I, E,
VS
V, S,
camel case code
C, O, O, C, D, space, D, S, space, C, O, D, E,
demo.
D, E, M, O,
I use camel case because it's a lot easier to type in the terminal. So I'm going to press enter.
C, user Taylor Art documents greater,
Then I'm going to do CD.
C, D space G, I,
Git
E,
tab.
Prov, VS Code demo,
Oops.
Prov, C, user Taylor Art documents, Git VS Code demo greater,
I'm going to do
C,
code,
O, D, E, space,
period.
dot.
That will open this in VS Code.
Visual Studio
This
Code
folder.
document. Application. Info. Do you trust the authors of the files?
I
in this folder?
trust
Dialog.
the
Info. Do you
thing,
trust
so I'm
the
gonna
authors
make
of the
sure
files
that I
in this
get
folder?
in
Code provides features
trusted
that may
mode.
automatically execute files in this folder. If you, no, I don't trust the authors browse folder in restricted mode. Yes, I trust the authors trust folder in Git VS Code demo Visual Studio Code document.
Restricted mode is the arch of my nemesis. It's the worst thing I could ever come up with because it's like, do you trust the folder? Yes, I made the folder. So I trust the folder. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to configure our extension. So what I want to do is I want to go in my
If there is an
command
update available,
palette.
Visual Studio Code 1.64.2.
Thank you for blurting out and killing my train of thought there, VS Code. I appreciate you. What I'm going to do actually now is I'm going to go to my command palette, Control-Shift-P, and that will allow me to type in GitHub Repository Manager, and then I can log in with my GitHub. And this will allow me to be able to start to use this extension. So,
Application. Type the name of a command. G-I-T-H. Address D. GitHub copylist. Configure enable slash disable GitHub copylist. Send feedback 2 of 8. GitHub repository manager. Focus on account view 3 of 8. GitHub repository manager. Focus on repositories view 4 of 8.
and
Open GitHub copylist. Control plus enter 5.
I'm gonna do
repository.
account
You are not yet
view.
logged in. Log in with your GitHub account
I'm going to
section.
log in.
Log in with your GitHub account button.
Okay,
Visual Studio Code dialog. The extension GitHub repository man. Cancel. Allow button.
allow.
Git VS Code demo Visual Studio Code document. GitHub for VS Code Word Microsoft Edge window. GitHub for VS Code. Banner landmark heading level 1 graphic. GitHub for VS Code. Main link to Git button continue. Link to not authorized button continue. Loading page. Sign into GitHub document. Main landmark. Sign into GitHub document. Main landmark. Sign into GitHub document. Main landmark. Password edit protected blank.
And just give me a couple seconds, folks. I need to stop sharing my screen so I can log into my GitHub. And then I will see you guys on the other side. So right now, I'm just logging into my GitHub Repository Manager extension that I just installed. This is a really great extension. And again, I haven't explored everything that it can do. but it's a really great extension for you guys to manage GitHub repos and take it to the next level. So I just need to stop sharing my screen so that way I can get access to my password. Because that obviously be pretty important. I need my password for GitHub. So, any questions, folks? How are you guys liking this so far? You guys like it? Are you guys learning anything? Hopefully it's making sense. I feel like I'm all over the place today. I don't know. Maybe I am. Okay. Alright. Whoops. My 1Password just crashed. I love 1Password, folks. It's the best password manager ever. Thanks to Payon, I learned about it. Okay. So, password. There we go. And now I get to enter in a nice little verification code to verify my GitHub account because it's two-factor authentication for you. So just give me a second here. Let me verify my account. And we'll be on our way. Okay. Multi-factor is the way, yes, especially in the times that we're in right now, which I'm not going to get into. Multi-factor is absolutely important. So yes, even though it may be time consuming, multi-factor authentication is absolutely important. Alright, after I sign into VS Code, let me go ahead and resume the screen share. And I want to show you guys what happens next. So let me resume. I was muted myself.
I've started screen share. Mute button group in dim system dialog. Content is empty. In system dialog.
So,
content is empty. You are screen sharing.
I went ahead and I logged into my GitHub account. Now it's going to ask you to get back into VS Code. So at this point, I want to go ahead and open up with VS Code. So I'll show you guys what the screen looks like.
Microsoft Remote Desktop. Cloud PC Business 2 CPU/100.
Cancel button 2. Open button 1 of 2.
I'm going to hit open.
GitHub for VS Code. Banner landmark heading level 1. Visual Studio Code dialog. Allow an extension to open this URI. GitHub authentication.
Yes.
Code.github authentication. Cancel. Don't ask again for this extension. Check open button alt plus O.
I'm going to do don't ask again.
Space checked. Open button alt plus O.
Open.
Get VS Code demo Visual Studio Code document. Application. Login with your GitHub account button.
Okay, and now we should be good to go.
Login with your GitHub account button. Repository section button expanded. Login with your GitHub. Visual Studio Code dialog. The cancel button.
It's still showing that I need to log in.
Loading complete. GitHub for VS Code. Banner landmark heading level 1. Main landmark and link to content info landmark is main button continue. The GitHub. Button loading page. Loading complete. GitHub for VS Code. Banner landmark heading main heading level 2 didn't work. Authorization was successful. You will be redirected back to Visual Studio Code. Heading level 4 your authorization token. Edit read only multi-line scope. 0 out of edit checkmark button copied. List with 4 items 1. Copy the token.
Okay, I'm going to close out of that.
Task switching. Get VS Code demo main landmark. Group 1. Empty set. Status bar.
Okay, so now we're in a new place where we can create a repo. But we need to create a repo with something in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our classic little thing here. We're going to create a Python application that's not very complicated, that simply says hello to the user. We've already done this before, but we're just going to use it as another demo. And it prints their age. So they type in their name, their age, and maybe we'll add something funny. Maybe we'll say, like, what's your name, what's your age, and what's your state. So it's just nothing all that great, but it's just a simple Python demo to demonstrate that we can put something in GitHub. So I'm going to press Control-N, and I'm going to call this demo.py. I'm going to do Control-S to save it.
D-E-M-O.
.py. Making sure that I put demo.py and .py at the end, so that way I can ensure that everyone can be able to see my file because it's .py. And .py simply means a Python file. I'm going to press enter because I already know it's in my folder.
Untitled 1 Git VS Code demo Visual Studio Code. Untitled 1 Git VS Code demo Visual Studio Code document.
Right.
Application. Main landmark. Demo.py editor as autocomplete multi-line blank.
Simply put, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to declare some variables. So I'm going to go ahead and type in name equals input. What is your name?
A space.
Equals input.
I-N-T-U-T. Suggest list. Demo.py editor as autocomplete multi-T.
left parenthesis.
Left parent. Prompt. Subject equals. Read a string from standard input. The trailing new line is stripped. The prompt string, if given, is printed to standard output
And
without the
this
trailing
is
new
a
line before
hint.
reading input. If the user hits CF, start CTRLD, Windows, CTRLZ plus return. Raise the affair. On Stardix systems, read line is used if available. Dot. Hint. Left parent. Right parent. Quote.
Please
P-L-E-A-S-E space
type
P-Y-E-E space
your
Y-O-U
name.
space A-A-N-E.
Period.
Right blank.
Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with age this time, knowing that age is an integer. So an integer is a number. We've talked about this before. So I'm going to do int left parenthesis input. So I'm going to have 2 parentheses at the end. So age equals
A-G-E space equals
input.
space I-N-T-U.
Excuse me.
Suggest list.
Try that again.
And not select demo blank. I blank.
Int
N-T.
left
Right
parenthesis
parent.
input
I-N-T-U. Demo.py editor as auto P.
left parenthesis.
Left parent. Quote.
Please
P-L-E-U. Q-A-S-E-E space. Space. E. Quote. Right parent. Quote. E.
type
Quote, space. T-Y-P-E. E-P-Y. T. Space. T-Y-E. Space.
your
Y-O-U-R space.
age.
A-G-E. Dot. Dot. Quote. Right blank.
Okay, and finally state. So this is just something I just threw in here. I don't really care. You could just throw in some other variable. I just wanted something more than an age in a name game. So here's what we're gonna do: state
S-T-T. Suggest A. Stat not select T. Space. Demo
equals
dot equals. Space.
input because this is
I.
a string.
N. P. U. T. Left parent. Prompt. Quote. T.
Type
T. T. R. A. S. E. Space. Space. A. R. L. T. T. L. E. A. S. E. Space. R. Y.
I cannot
Y.
type today,
R.
folks.
Quote. R. T. Y. P. E. Space. Y. O. U. R. Space. S. T. A. T. E. E. Quote. Right
Okay.
parent. A. G. State equals input. Please type your state. Quote. Right blank. Blank.
Now we typed in name, age, state. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and print these things to the console. We're gonna use a simple print function, which is basically where I can have print left parentheses and I can do strings, which are basically anything that's surrounded in quotes. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do print.
P. R. I. N. E. Right parent.
Oops.
Right. Left parent. Star. Quote.
Welcome.
W. E. L. C. O. M. E.
Plus name.
E. Quote.
Actually, no.
E. M. E. Quote. E. Quote. Space.
Two.
T. O. Space. E. O. Space. Space. O. T. T. H.
Demo.
Space. D. E. M. O. Dot. Dot. Quote. Right parent.
I'm gonna say
Quote. Dot.
period.
Quote, space.
Your
Y. O. U. R. Space.
name
N. A. M. E. Space. I.
is.
S. S. Quote.
I'm going to end that set of quotes, and I'm going to do comma name. That will simply do string concatenation. Simply put, that will allow me to print the value of name right in this print statement,
Right parent. Quote.
comma
Right parent.
name.
N. A. M. E. Suggest list. Name not selected. 25 of 33. Demo.py editor as autocomplete. E. Right parent.
Then I'm going to do another comma,
Comma.
quote.
Quote.
Your
Y. O. U. R. Space. A. D. E.
age is,
Space. I. S. Space. Quote. Right parent.
ending that set of quotes, comma
A.
age,
D. E. E. Right parent.
comma.
Comma. Quote.
Finally,
F. I. N. A. L. L. Space.
you
Y. O. U. Space. L. I.
live
V. E. Space.
in,
I. N. N. Quote.
ending
right
that
there.
set of quotes, comma.
S. T.
State.
A. E. Blank.
So let me go ahead and do that now.
State equals input. Please type your state.
Okay, we have.
Print. Welcome to this demo. Your name is. Name. Your age is. Age. Finally, you live in. State.
Okay, so now we've been able to set this all up. Let's go ahead and run it and see what we get. All
Up
right,
for VS Code Word. Tap C. Restream chat row 2 column 2 4 4.
go back to my
Pick up for VS Code Word
thingy
Microsoft
here.
Edge window. App bar toolbar. Demo.py get VS Code demo C. Windows system 32 CMD C. Users Taylor Art documents get VS Code
I'm
demo.
going to do
Trigger.
Python
E-Y-T-A-O-N
demo
space D-E-M-O dot
dot
py.
py.
File C. Users Taylor
Uh-oh.
Art documents get VS Code demo dot py. Line 2. Age equals in right parenthesis input. Please type your age. Syntax error
Oh,
unmatched. C. Users
no,
Taylor Art documents
I
get
got an
VS Code.
error.
Restream chat row 1 clickable multi-factor
Okay, let's
away.
go ahead and fix that.
Page demo. Name equals input. Please type your name. Age equals in right line S T T T S line right quote dot E G A space R.
Gotta
U
love
O
errors.
Y
I'm not
A T
used
T.
to typing on
Name
this
equals
thing,
space
so.
Y O U R space N A M E dot quote right line A G E space equals space I N T right I N P N I right parent I right left parent X left I N T U T left quote P L E A S
Sorry,
E
y'all.
T Y P E space Y O U R space
I'm
R
just
U
not
O
used to
Y
this.
space E P Y P Y T E E S E E E S E T space name age equals in input. Please type your age. Space T Y P
Okay.
E space Y O U R space A G E dot quote right parent line feed.
We
Right
need
there.
2 sets of right parentheses
Right there.
because we opened up 2 sets of right parentheses. So, we've got name, we've got age, we've got state. Alright, let's go ahead and run it now.
Resume chat
I guess
document.
state or
Multi-factor.
country.
Data right window.
Either
Empty
way.
scroll area. Space with Microsoft Remote Desktop containing Windows Cloud PC.
We'll go ahead and shut
VoiceOver
off
off.
voiceover for just a second. Alright.
Restream chat. List C Windows system. C users Taylor Art document. The system cannot find the path specified. C users Taylor Art
What?
document. C users Taylor Art documents. Get VS Code demo greater CD. Get VS Code demo. CD. Get
Hold
VS
on.
C user Y E dot O M E D space N O H T Y
Python.
E T Y T H O
Demo.
S space D E O O comma M E D D E M O dot py. Please type your name.
Please type my name. Taylor.
T A Y L O R. Please type your age.
22.
2. Please type your state.
Texas.
T-E-X-A-S. Traceback. Most recent
Uh-oh.
call last. File C. Users Taylor
Awesome.
documents. Get VS Code demo.py. Line 4. Unless module greater. Print. Welcome to this demo. Your name is. Name. Your age is. Age. Finally you live in. State. Name error. Name state is not defined. C.
Name
Users Taylor
state is not
documents. Get VS
defined.
Code demo greater.
Alright, so that typically means that we typed
List type
something
restream
wrong.
chat document. Demo.
Let's go ahead and
demo.py.
fix
Get VS Name equals input. Please type your age. State equals input. Please type line S. T-T-A-T-E.
Ooh.
Space E-T-A-T. A. T-T-T.
I spelled state wrong. Awesome. I had 2 T's. Alright, let's go ahead and try this again.
Restream chat row 1 column 1. Restream chat. C. Windows system for C. Please type your name.
Taylor.
T-A-Y-L-O-R. Please type your age.
22.
2. Please type your state.
Texas.
T-E-X-A-S. Welcome to this demo. Your name is Taylor. Your age is 22. Finally, you live in Texas. See users Taylor Art documents. Get VS Code demo greater.
Alright. Awesome. So, let's do it again, but let's see, you know, I lived in Michigan before, so let's see what happens then. So if I type in
See, please type your name.
Taylor,
T-A-Y-L-O-R. Please type your age.
22,
2. Please type your
Michigan.
state. M-I-C-A-A-A-H. Space. I-G-A-N. Welcome to this demo. Your name is Taylor. Your age is 22. Finally, you live in Michigan. See users Taylor Art
See?
documents. Get VS Code demo greater.
It updates based on the state or based on the values you enter. So that's just a little bit of a stupid program. It's really highlighting nothing, but we want to go ahead and commit this to GitHub. So let's go ahead and use our new extension to do that, shall we? Alright, let's do that now.
Restream chat
I'm going to
document.
go to
Multi-factor
command
demo.py. Get
Control
VS Code
Shift
demo
P,
greater.
Command Shift
Type the name
P.
of a command to run.
GitHub.
G-I-T-A-U-B. GitHub repository manager. Focus on account view 1 of 8. GitHub Copilot. Configure enable / disable. GitHub Copilot. Send feedback 3 of 8. GitHub repository manager. Focus on repositories view 4 of 8. Open GitHub Copilot. Control plus open GitHub page 6 of 8. Publish to GitHub 7 of 8. View show GitHub repository manager. GitHub repository manager. Focus on account view 1 of 8. GitHub Copilot. Configure enable / disable
I'm
2 of
gonna
8.
do- let's
GitHub
see.
Copilot. Send feedback 3 of 8. GitHub repository manager. Focus on repositories view 4 of 8.
New.
Stay N-E-W. No matching commands 1 of 1.
Let's see, actually, new.
Type the N-E-W 118 result. File create new file. Control plus alt plus Windows plus N1 of space R-E-P. No matching commands 1 of 1.
Hold
No
on.
new letter. Create new. Type the name of a command to run. R-E-O. Git S. 9 results. GitHub repository. Copy repository URL 2 of 9. GitHub repository manager. Focus on account view 1 of 9. Copy create repository 3 of 9.
Create repository.
Main landmark. Demo.py editor.
Now.
Autocomplete multi-line state equals input. Please type your state.
Now it's going to ask us for our organization. So in this case, I want to put it in Techopolis.
Print welcome to this demo. Your name is.
Or
Name. Your
not.
age is. Age. Finally print. Print welcome. Type the name of a command to run. C-R-E. 35 results. Create code. Create repository 1 of 35. Main landmark. Demo.py editor as autocomplete multi-line print. Welcome to this demo. Your name is. Name. Your age is. Age. Finally you live in. State.
I got it to work a
Print
minute
welcome to
ago.
this demo. Your name. Type the name of a command to R. Quick input P-O. 14 results. Create GitHub repository manager. Focus on account view 2 of 14. Create
Okay.
repository 1 of 14. GitHub copy repository URL 3 of 4. Create repository for current project 4 of 14.
Okay, let's do that then.
Main landmark. Error. User token isn't set. Demo.py editor as autocomplete multi-line print.
come
Welcome to this demo. Your
on.
name is. Name. Your age is. Age. Finally you live in. State.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Basically, I was able to get this to work on the Mac, so I might actually have to go on my Mac for this time because I'm having problems. Let me go ahead and go on my Mac because I am having problems. But basically, you guys know how to set up it on Windows. You just enter the token. So you have to enter a personal access token. You can go into developer settings and under GitHub and do that. I'm not going to do
Evan
that
Merrill.
in this case.
It says you are not logged into GitHub account.
I'm not logged into GitHub account. Interesting, because I just logged into GitHub account. I think that I am having issues with this just because this is a different Windows computer. And it is a Windows 365 thing, so I think I'm going to have some authentication issues. So let me go back on my Mac, where I'm familiar. And let me go ahead and do it that way. Let me just copy our demo, and we can go ahead and put it up on GitHub. So, sound like a plan? All right, let me go ahead and switch to GitHub on the Mac side. Now I can simply just copy all this
O-C-U-N-E-N-T-S. Text file explorer.
to
Documents.
my Mac.
Get pick 5 demo 2 of 3. Get VS Code demo 1 of 3.
So just copy these files.
VoiceOver on Zoom.us. Spotlight. P-I-E-T-T-N-N-E-I-C-A-T. DPC-L-U-I-O-C-U-E-N-T-S.
This is me.
Zoom.us.
Document.
Dot. Finder. Open. What?
Yeah,
Finder,
I think
Finder.
that I'm having
Go to
issues
sidebar
with
table.
this
Inside
terminal.
Google Drive. Desk documents. Document out. Icon view
And
collection.
I wasn't
Paste
prepared to do it on Windows, but a viewer wanted me
as icons
to.
checked.
So I had
As
to
list
kind
checked.
of.
List view table.
Yeah.
Calculator folder. Yesterday
There we
at 8:38 p.m.
Alright, so now we're having our files on Mac. Let me go ahead now and get ourselves ready for Mac. And let me go ahead and stop sharing for just a second. I have to get configured. I didn't think I'd actually be using Mac today for this, but it's okay. And the cool thing is, if you already have Mac, guess what? You are already pretty much set up. You already have Git installed. So I think I am having issues with my VS Code setup on my Windows 365 primary environment here.
Zoom.us. Zoom.us.
So, alright. Okay, so. Oof. Okay. So, let me go ahead and slow this down. Okay. Here we go. Alright, sorry, y'all. Hiccups when you're streaming is very awkward.
I've started in dim.
Okay.
System dialog. Content is empty. In system dialog.
I'm
Content
sharing
is
my
empty.
screen
More screen sharing. Zoom.us has
and my
system
sound.
dialog.
I'm going to go open up VS Code and we're going to go publish it from the Mac. But it's the same process on Windows. Okay, so I'm going to go open the terminal.
Spotlight. T-E-L. Terminal. Space. Percent. D-A-Y.
Documents.
S. Space. Documents. D-C-D.
Git.
Versus code demo.
VS Code demo. Code. Period.
New D-A-Y. Web content.
Okay.
Code has new window.
Now I'm going to go to Repository Manager.
Greater than.
Command
Type
Shift
the name
P.
of the command. Create repository. Select GitHub repository manager. Focus on account via create repository. Selected 1 of 14. Main overview of how to
Okay.
get up to speed with your editor.
Now.
Document. Type to narrow down results. aren't your personal account. Select
There we go.
Computer Techopolis Online Solutions. Techopolis Online.
Techopolis Online Solutions. You notice it presents my list of organizations, which is great. I want to select Techopolis Online Solutions. And
Repository name. Edit text. Enter the new repository name. Press enter to confirm or escape to cancel group. Enter the new repository name. Edit text. Enter the new repository name. Closing S. Versus
V.
I D studio D code C D D U T S F T C E code
Code Git
Git
demo.
D O and demo. Repository description optional. Edit text. Enter the repository description. Press enter to confirm or escape.
I'm just going to say a simple demo
Enter the
app
repository
for
description.
VS
Press
Code.
enter to confirm or escape to close. Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Simple. 4 V I Visual Studio. Enter the close D E D C C D space D and T. Type to narrow down results.
Now,
Menu pop-up.
I can make this
Select
private or
one.
public.
2 results group. 2 results. Private. Public.
Making it public.
Main overview of how to get up to info repository Visual Studio Code Git demo created successfully.
Created successfully, folks. We've created this successfully. This is great. We went ahead and created this successfully. So, we've created a GitHub repository and it's successful. Now, let's see if we can actually view it.
Edit list 3 new open selected button.
Okay.
Group 2 of and per live note tweet copy info repository tweet feedback group.
And then what I can do is hit copy.
Type create copy path. Select file copy path copy file live reset file copy path.
I can do repository.
Create repository. GitHub repository manager. Focus on account. Copy repository URL.
Copy repository URL.
Dialog. Okay. Command. Copy repository URL resulted in an error. Cannot destructure property. Repo of undefined.
Or not.
Okay. No. Notifications.
Okay.
Group. Greater than. Type the name of a command to run. Menu
So let's
pop-up.
go ahead and run
Greater than
it.
608
So,
results group.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to do push.
Copy. No matching commands. Select 1 results. Greater than. Closing menu.
Actually, wait,
Closing
hold
menu.
on.
16. Preferences. Config. No match. No
Okay.
matching. No match. Closing menu.
So, that's good. It's on GitHub. Let me go make sure I can get the URL. And if you want to clone a repository, what you can do, basically cloning allows you to work on it locally, is you can actually go to your command palette and hit clone repository. This will allow you to clone the repository to your hard drive, which will allow you to work on it, and you can go ahead and commit, push, pull, and do all the actions. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen, at least stop sharing my sound, so I can go check GitHub and see if it's there.
Visual Studio Code. Zoom.us.
So, folks. Okay. So, let's see. Techopolis Online. Alright, let me go ahead and select our organization. Okay. And here we go. Let's see. Look at that, folks. Our VS Code demo repository is on GitHub. It's there. Now, let's say I want to add a README to this. And that's something I want to do, or I want to update something. I can go ahead and push it up so I can actually share with you guys the link. And then I'm able to actually use this to be able to share and be able to work on my code. You could just go to clone and you could actually work on my code. Right? You could actually change it and then you could theoretically do something with it yourself. Let me go ahead now and share my screen. Before I do that, let me make sure that we're set here. And I have clone, initialize, open, set log level. I have all these different things I can do. I can do Control-Shift-G. So I'm not sure, it didn't have a Git repository. But I can do a lot, folks. But hopefully this shows you guys how to use Git and VS Code. I'm going to go ahead and end it for now. Just A, because I'm kind of feeling tired. But B, I'm hoping this guys gives you a good introduction. And I'm hoping that you guys will find this useful. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments. And I'm going to be doing more things like this in the future. So let me know what your thoughts are. But for now, folks, I think I'm going to head out and make sure we have any more comments if we do or not. Alright, folks, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you guys have a great